Hey. Happy Tuesday. I'm so glad to see you guys. It's been way too long, and I felt like I kind of fell off the face of the earth last week because it was just crazy, and so I'm happy to be back. And I've got three fun projects. Four, really, if we wanted to keep hanging out together, depending on how much time we have and everything. But let me just make sure all's a go here. Hey, when you jump on, say hi, and let me know if you have a Cricut and you are interested in learning how to use your Cricut and what projects you can make with it, and that sort of thing, because that's what we're going to be working on tonight. Is 3 different types of vinyl you can use that you cut out, design projects with your Cricut, and then 3 different craft projects that we're making with those. So that's what we're going to be working on. So let's see here. Looks like we're good everywhere. So yeah, when you guys get on, say hello. And then I'll tell you what we're going to start working on first tonight. Get a drink of water here. Everybody else make it through the week after we had like a fine Friday the 13th, and then like Saturday the 14th, we had a little black cloud hanging over our head for like 7 days. So it was a little crazy. But anyway, hey, say hey when you hop on, and let me know if you have a Cricut. And if you do, we're going to be making 3 different projects tonight with that, so let me know if you're interested in that. But hey, let's get started with our first project of the night. So the first thing that I have that we're going to paint is just, I have tons of different pieces of scrap wood and things from different projects, but I grabbed a little piece of scrap wood and then I painted this one white and painted all the sides white. And the first vinyl that I'm going to show you how to use is Stencil Vinyl. This is what I use the majority of the time for door hangers and things like that. But this is a really fun, easy project. If you saw my video from earlier, I'm kind of trying to decorate everything in the house right now, including the front porch, both of my like mantle shelves, my tier tray. Everything is kind of football because we have a football player and it's just about to start, and I'm really excited about this year's football season. We have a junior and he's been injured he was injured all of last season, and he's had some other issues in football throughout, so cross our fingers. And if you want to keep him in your prayers for healthy things this season, that'd be great. So anyway, I'm just really excited about this season, so I'm doing everything football. So this is going to be a little sign. Might use it on a tier tray, I might use it on one of my shelves, on my mantle or something like that. But the first type of vinyl that I have, like I said, is called Stencil Vinyl. So it is specifically made to cut out a project and then to paint over that project. So and all of the vinyl that I purchased through Expressions Vinyl online. They have the best customer service you could ever imagine. So everything, and I mean their prices are great and shipping is good, but their customer service is amazing. So I always stick with them. So let me show you real quick. Here's how this particular vinyl comes. So it's blue. That's one way you can kind of tell what it is. And the name of it is called, well, this brand of this type of vinyl is called Aura Mask, and it is number 813. So if you go onto their website at expressionsvinyl.com and you purchase this, it's number 813. So it is considered to be stencil vinyl. So it comes blue. Now the thing about this is, this blue is not the part that is meant for a project necessarily. You just are using this to create your project, if that makes sense. As opposed to our next thing, we're going to use permanent vinyl that we're actually using the vinyl on our project. And that's what that vinyl is made for. This is not. So The blue, all of the blue part actually gets thrown away. So, okay, so what I did was I went on to Cricut Design Space, which is what I use. You just go online, set up an account, and that's what I use to design all of the different designs that I have. So, first things first, I took the dimensions of my little wood block, and I just measured how big this was, and then, you know, kind of width and height. And then you go on to Cricut Design Space and you can pick a shape and you can put in the exact dimensions of what your shape is, so that way you know that everything that you're designing is going to fit onto your space. So that's what I did first, and so I made this little cutout that says family, food, and football. So that's what's going to go on this little sign here. So I had put, this is just kind of a scrap piece of vinyl because I obviously keep everything. I don't throw anything away. But this is a scrap piece of vinyl that was just the right size that I needed. And I used one of these big Cricut mats just because my designs are usually pretty big. So that's why I use the big one. You can have like a 12 by 12. This is a 12 by 24 mat for a Cricut. So I cut this out already. So what we have to do, hey Amy, how are you? The first thing, Amy, do you have a Cricut? Let me know if you have a Cricut. I think we talked about this, but I can't remember. But so we're making a fun little football sign. So once you have your stencil cut out from your Cricut, we have to go and weed out the parts that we don't want, because this is actually going to go onto our little sign here, and then we're going to paint this. So if that all makes sense, it'll make sense here in just a minute. But like I said, I already cut out my design. So what you want to do now is, I don't know, let me look. Silhouette. Okay, that's what it was. Yep. Haven't used it, so sad. Well, maybe this will inspire you to use yours and create a project, because we got 3 different things. So I don't know if you can tell. Sorry. Oh, you can kind of see it. So there's my lettering that the Cricut cut. So what I am doing right now is called weeding. So I'm taking out all of the pieces that I want to ultimately paint onto my little sign here. Like I said, when we do it, I got another project using some different vinyl that we're going to do just the opposite. So it kind of depends on what your end result goal is as to exactly what you do. So I'm just taking off all of the parts that it's cut out, and it comes off usually really easily. My poor Cricut gets put to work a lot, so it's probably time for a sharpened blade. Okay, so let me show you this. So here's my first little word. So like I said, it says family, food, and football, and it has a little heart. So there I took out all of the letters there. So now this word is left. Okay. So then I'll just go, now here's my little heart. Oh, of course that's gonna die. Some of these pieces are so tiny that it can be a challenge to weed them out. And my little sign was pretty small, so the area that I'm working with has got teeny tiny little pieces. Obviously the bigger pieces are a little easier to, they just pop right out of there, but okay, so now I got family, food, I got my heart, This little guy went a little crazy. And I'm just using, I'm not real sure what the name of this tool is, but it comes with, like I have the Cricut Explorer 1, I think, but this just comes with everything, and this is just, I guess it's probably called your weeding tool, because that's ultimately what I'm doing here, is just weeding all of this out. Okay, last word. Hey, Aaron. My laptop here is about to die. I don't know if you can hear me. Hey, could you grab my laptop charger? Yay! Thank you. It just told me it was about to die. I was like, of course it is. So, if you want to plug it in, then I'll plug the charger in, or the plug. Yay! Thank you. I don't know that I'll need it, but what?
Are you still going?
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, so let me get this here. Got a piece stuck to my finger. Okay, so here's what we have. Sorry, that's dull and boring, all right? Watching somebody weed that out. So there is our word. So now I'm just gonna take this. So I have this little piece of transfer tape. So you need to have this transfer tape so that you can take my stencil and apply it to my block piece of wood here so that I can paint that. So let me show you how that works. Now my mat is old and been through a lot of use, so that's why I kind of taped down this stencil vinyl on there really good. So let me make sure I have everything in the right spot. Because once you take it off, there's no return, basically. Okay, so I'm gonna take this transfer tape, and again, I use everything like multiple times. So this is just gonna go right over my stencil here. And you also will need one of these like spatulas, kind of. This is a big one, but you just rub the transfer tape onto your stencil here. And so you want to have it pick up all these little pieces, like the inside of an O and inside of an A and that sort of thing. Otherwise your letters won't come out just right. Okay, so there's that. Now I am just going to pull this off, and all of the blue part is going to come with it, okay? So this is our stencil. Let's set this over here. Now my stencil is going on my block because this is the part that I'm going to paint. So you just kind of look at it, and it should fit, because if you remember, I told you when I'm creating my design, I have the dimensions already kind of mapped out in Cricut Design Space, so that way I know exactly how big my words can be and all that stuff. Okay, so here it is. You probably can't see it because it's probably backwards, but so you just kind of get it on there where you want it to be, center it, all that good stuff. And when you have it how you want it, you just go back and press. So now the blue stencil that I just removed is going to stay onto this wood block, and then we'll be able to paint it. I know I'm shaking it around. I can tell whenever I do this part of it. So again, you have to press this on really good, because now you want all of those, you know, again, the inside of the O's and the A's and that sort of thing to stay on this piece. Okay, let's see how this works. So now you just pull the transfer tape off. All the pieces of your stencil should stay right on your little sign here. So now, I don't know if I had some scissors. You could cut all this the extra off, but so now this is what we have on our sign. Okay. This is the part where I'm just going to use black. You could obviously pick whatever color you wanted to. I'm just going to use a little bit of black. I've got my tiny little, I don't even know what the heck is this called, foam brush, jeez. And these are just the right size for this kind of small stuff. And just kind of go on and just start tapping all of your paint on to where it's covering every little piece of your lettering. So you want to do that over the whole thing. We'll let it set and dry and then just double check we didn't miss any little spot. Really the most time consuming part of this creating projects is your time spent in Cricut Design Space designing what you're wanting to do, because ultimately once you get it cut out, and then like if you're doing, you know, using the type of stencil vinyl like this, it goes pretty fast after that. And then we're going to use some permanent vinyl next, and it is super fast because you skip the paint step basically because you're using the actual vinyl for that. So okay, so now I have all of my lettering covered in black, so I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for just a bit, and then we're going to work on the next one, and then we'll come back and check on this in just a minute and see if we have everything done. So let me set this over here. Okay, so that's our first project using stencil vinyl. So now my second project is using permanent vinyl. So the difference between this and that is, well, of course, the vinyl is different. So permanent vinyl is exactly what it says it is. It's supposed to be used permanent. So you put it on a project and it's not meant to come off. Now you can get removable vinyl for different projects. So like, for instance, like if I was doing something maybe with, like let's say football themed, and I was using a number, like let's say my son's number 50 and he's always been number 50 and will probably always be number 50. But if for some reason you had someone that you might need a different number, you can get removable vinyl, and that way you can switch it out. So just kind of depending on what you want. Is your Cricut compatible with an Android phone, or do you use, I use my laptop. I think you can actually use Cricut Design Space on your phones, and I have like the newest Android phone there is, but I haven't tried it. So I'm not sure, but I think you can use it because I think you can like electronically send your designs to the program. But I'm not exactly sure. I can't speak from experience on that one. Okay, so here's my next. So another piece of wood, painted this one black. And now I'm going to be using permanent vinyl. So this one, again, is from Expressions Vinyl. And it's the same Oracle brand, but this number is 651. So this is just a white permanent vinyl, and I think the stencil vinyl that's number 813, it just comes in that blue color. So, and you don't really care because you're going to paint over it. So, okay, so here's the difference between what we did last time and what we're going to do this time. This time, since I want to transfer and I'm using this stencil that I made with the permanent vinyl, I actually have to weed out just the opposite way. So last time I took out my lettering because I wanted to transfer that so I could paint those letters onto the wood. This time I want to weed out everything else because I want to transfer the letters that I have here in permanent vinyl to my wood. Does that make sense? Let me show you. So again, I don't know if you can see very easily. Yeah, you can't really tell, but my letters are cut out there. So instead of going and taking out all my different letters, this time I just want to remove everything that's around them. So you can tell that the vinyl comes, you know, with a front and back. So there's the front of it. So I'm just gonna start peeling this away, and what I want to stay on my little piece here is my permanent vinyl. So see, this one, I don't even think I told you, this one says tailgates, tackles, and touchdowns. And so now I just have to weed all of this out, leaving those letters here on this piece. You do have to kind of watch and make sure that you don't pull up your letters. You want them to stay on here. So the difference kind of in this project from, or this particular vinyl from the Stencil Vinyl, is this really kind of eliminates the step of having to paint because it's already done. Okay, so can you see? Well, I'll show you in just a second. You still can't really tell too much. Got a man down here. Come on, get back on it. Okay, so here is just the opposite. I took off all of the outside parts and just left the letters on this piece. So see, here's my 3 tailgates, tackles, and touchdowns. So now I have to go back and take out those little pieces, like again, the inside of the A's and the O's and all that good stuff. Stuck everywhere. Oh no. Okay. So just about, I got one little O left here. Okay, so there's this all. So this is again called weeding. So you're weeding out the vinyl that you don't want to be transferred to your sign. So see how like the inside of the A, you have to cut those parts, it gets cut, so you have to remove that. And like the O, you have to take the center of the O out, so that sort of thing. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the Stencil Vinyl. This D popped up, and so I'm trying to get him back where he belongs here. We're going to use our transfer tape. So again, like I said, I don't throw anything away. I use stuff over and over again. So I've got the same little piece here so that you don't have to keep buying that because it stays pretty sticky for a long time, so you're good. I'm just going to put this right over this piece here, do the same thing. I want all of these letters that we want to put onto this little wood block sign to stick to my transfer tape here really good. Okay. So this time I'm going to do the same thing, but when I start pulling it, now my letters should be stuck to my transfer tape. See, just like that. And then this, get my little wood block here. And you kind of gotta get it centered and exactly where you want it. That's the nice thing about the transfer tape is that it's sticky, so it kind of, you can, you don't have to worry about it sliding around too much. It will kind of get stuck if it's not exactly where you want it, but it's nothing that you can't kind of pull it back off of. So then you just take your weeding tool. This is, again, like I said, the nice step about this type of vinyl is once you get this on, you're done, as opposed to last time, once we got our stencil vinyl on to our piece, then we still had to cut it. So just kind of, since it's so small, I'm just going to kind of try to rub it in to make sure I got all those little letters there. So, okay. So now I'm just going to take my transfer tape off. And if you kind of do it at an angle like this, it kind of helps. So, simple as that. So there's that part. Now I have a little field goal post that I cut out. So when I was in Cricut Design Space, it's kind of mesmerizing, isn't it? Like whenever you are weeding stuff out or that sort of thing. If you want to do like 2 parts, or you can do as many as you want. People will layer different types of, or different colors, like for different designs that you're making. So maybe you had like, maybe you had a beach ball. So you cut out like a round beach ball, and then you have like the different pieces that are different colors. So you may have one section that's red and one section that's blue. When you make your design in Cricut Design Space, you can label the different colors so that it knows that, like, when you're gonna cut your red piece out, then the next one you're gonna cut a blue piece out. So for instance, I made this whole thing all as one design, but I kept my little goalpost yellow so that it knew that this was a separate cut, so that I could use a different color. Now, this is because I'm using permanent vinyl, as opposed to when we did our stencil, you could paint that. Like the letters that I had, it says family, food, football, or something. I could have painted family, red, and then football white, and then something else blue. So you can paint it like that, but when you're using permanent vinyl, you have to kind of separate out so that you can use, or use the different colors that you want on each one. So hopefully that makes sense. But okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing for this little goal post. It has a little goalpost and football on it. So I'm just gonna weed this out. This is super tiny, so might be a little tricky. Gosh, actually that came right off. Ooh, look at that. It's super quick. So see that little football goalpost? Okay. I'm gonna use my transfer tape again. Okay. See, and I bet you've seen so many different projects that look like they are really complicated, and it's probably a lot easier than what you thought, because this is super easy. So I'm going to take my little goalpost, and it's going to set over here kind of to the side. Get it straight here. Okay. So now I'm just going to get that one stuck on here. So now the big question, gosh, sorry, I'm like shaking it every time I do that. Hey, looky there. So cute. So here's this sign. So how simple is that? Really simple, huh? When you cut out all of your different words with the permanent vinyl and transfer them, then yeah, it's super easy. Now, here's the question that I don't know the answer to. So this, obviously, both of these little signs that I'm doing are going to be used for inside, you know, in my home decor, if that makes sense. So the question is, if you wanted to put something like this outside, what do you need to do? Well, it needs to be sealed somehow, but I don't have the answer for you on that just yet, because I'm not sure how long-term wise, if you put polyurethane over vinyl, I'm not sure how that works long-term wise. It probably is fine immediately, but it may cause it to roll up or crinkle up later on. So, okay, so look how quick we made that one. Super fast. So I'm gonna set this aside. Let's check the one that we painted. So we've got, let me look here. Just got really dark. Got a couple little spots here that I see some white, so I'm just gonna go back over that. And it's not quite dry just yet. So I think I hit all the spots, but we're gonna let that keep drying and then move to the last one. You use spray lacquer and satin finish. Like the Rust-Oleum spray one. And I've heard that that works. So that could potentially be all you have to do. I'm just not sure. Yes. Okay. I'm just not sure if with the heat and everything else, how that vinyl will stand up, just because I don't have very much experience with it. So I'm not sure. Did you use it or have something that's like been used for a while, long term? Let me know if that is, if that's even making sense. I feel like I'm rambling because, if you know what I mean. If you've used something that you don't either, we shall see. Okay. It's a dang experiment, isn't it? So I've seen people do it all the time. I just don't know if long term it's going to work. It sure would be nice if it is. Okay, so here's my next one, probably what I'm most excited about, because this really, well, was kind of on the agenda for today, but then I found exactly what I needed at Walmart today, and I'm super excited. So I may have to, well, let me just show you because I was excited about it. So the third type of vinyl that I have is the heat transfer vinyl. So this is how you make t-shirts, and you know, I've done koozies like for our family reunion, and oh, you could use it even to make coffee mugs. You can use it, heat transfer vinyl, on a lot of different things. I think you can even use it now on wood. But I'm sticking with the football theme. So I was going to like do something else with it, like a t-shirt or something to kind of show you guys, but I needed a new pillow, and I almost bought the one from Hobby Lobby the other day when I was there, and it was kind of gray, I think, and I thought, gosh, I like, if you've been around here for a little while, you know I like black and white, but and it was kind of gray, which would have worked, but I was like, I really would want something else. Look what I found at Walmart today for like $6. A black throw pillow. So now this is gonna go on my porch, on my chair, which is getting redone. Anyway, that's a whole porch ordeal. We're getting a makeover here real soon. So anyway, I'm really excited to have this cute little football. So here's what I cut out with heat transfer vinyl. So now when you purchase heat transfer vinyl, you literally just want to look for the one that says heat transfer, because it obviously does not work in any other fashion. So it, I think I put the rest of it up. I was going to show you what it looks like, but it's very thin compared to the others. That stencil, the blue stencil vinyl is by far the thickest one there is. And then the permanent vinyl is not quite as thick, but it's a lot thicker than this stuff. So again, this is just in Cricut Design Space. I just wanted a picture of a football, so they have tons, like 2 million different images that you can get through them. If you purchase like a monthly subscription, you get everything for free, and then you can just download it. But I just purchased this design. It was like 99 cents. So, and then I just, again, went on there and put the dimensions of my pillow, which I think is like 18 by 18, I think it said. And then I picked my image, and then I had the Cricut cut it out. So the difference between heat transfer vinyl is you weed it just like we did the last one to make the sign, where we left all of this in. So you weed out everything except for your football. And you have to, when you weed this out, the difference is this part of it is sticky, so that it will stick to whatever it is that you want to iron on. So that's really, really helpful. But the other types of vinyl don't have that. That's why if you want to do a project like this, you've got to get the heat transfer vinyl, because other stuff just doesn't work. So anyway, I've got my iron heated up and my ironing board right here, but I may have to turn the camera a little bit. So these are usually really easy, and they go on pretty quick too. So it won't take but just a couple seconds. So let's see if we can get situated here. I'll move this stuff over and move the camera over. Maybe I'll try to move the ironing board to me. Maybe that's what we'll do, because it's just right here. So hang tight. Hang tight, hang tight. Okay, so, well, actually, tell me if you're going to try any of these. Tell me if you're learning something, and if you're going to try any of these projects. That's what I want to know. Ah, what am I stuck on here? Okay, bringing this over here. I'm going to kind of be... That's good enough, right? Good enough. Okay, so here's what we've got. So here's my football. Okay. I hope I get a machine on my birthday. Somebody needs a little hint. Is that what you're saying? No, he probably already knows, right? I'm not sure you'll ever try. Oh, come on. Sure. Okay, so since this is sticky, I am just going to kind of put it on. Now, let me just, full disclosure, let's just hope that this fabric works with this, because if it's epic disaster, just know that I've done t-shirts and sweatshirts in the past. He knows. I figured he probably did. So, yes, I will help pray for that too. So let's just hope that it works on this particular fabric. So if it doesn't, now you know. We're just trial and error here, but it should. I don't know why it wouldn't, but okay. So get this kind of straight. Let's see. It's gonna be sitting like that. So okay. All right. So see, it kind of sticks. You know, you can kind of hear it sticking. So I'm just gonna kind of press this on a little bit here. Now what I do is I get like the thinnest, what am I trying to say? Pillowcase that I can find, which, you know, mine just so happens to be super old, and I think it was probably, I think my sister said it was hers, so it's like, gotta use the old Star Wars, but I think it's like, I don't know. If it's hers, it's like 50 years old, so we'll see. But the old school stuff is so thin that it should work just right. because you don't want to put your iron straight onto this, obviously. You just kind of want it something to go over it a little bit. So I feel pretty good with where that's at. Now I had my iron set to, none of these came with instructions, by the way. From, like I said, I ordered from Expressions Vinyl. Now probably if I would have read the entire description, it would have told you what setting to have it on and all that stuff, but no, I didn't. So I'm gonna assume I had my iron on to cotton, which is kind of like in the middle of temperatures and stuff. So I'm gonna assume that's gonna work and be hot enough. That's what I've done in the past because I did it on shirts that were cotton, so that's where my logic was. But okay, so here goes. Oh, and what I was gonna say is it probably tells you like how long to do it to and everything. Typically, I don't know. Typically it takes a little longer than what they say it takes anyway. So, like I said, we're just fly by the seat of our pants here. So, what did Amy say? It's do without actually knowing. That's my life, right? That's just how it is, girl. Okay, here goes. Got the old Star Wars. I mean, let's just do it on the table. If we're all, you know, why not? I mean, you know, actually, I mean, Luke and Leia and all those guys, aren't they gonna like come through for us? I mean, the Force is with us here, right? It's gonna be fun. Okay, here goes nothing. So I'm just gonna kind of start, since this is a big piece, I'm just gonna kind of start with this bottom part here. So we'll see. Just making sure it was on. So while this is sitting here, I'm gonna try to kind of count and talk at the same time. But I have never watched any Star Wars movie in my entire life, and both of my children are Star Wars obsessed. My mother, who's like 77 years old, obsessed with Star Wars. My husband, of course, loves it. I don't know how, but I've never seen any of them. The suspense is killing me. Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be good, I don't know. I might actually turn the heat up a little bit because it doesn't feel, and I gotta be able to see what I'm doing here. It actually doesn't feel too hot, so we'll go up just a little bit. So you haven't, Brandy, we have so much in common, it's crazy. I know. It's really crazy. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because it doesn't actually hurt my feelings at all either, because I've never been interested in watching them. Like, you know, on those, when the kids were little and have snow days or something, and like people would like have a Star Wars marathon or something, and I was just like, nah. A plain old-fashioned tea towel. Oh yes, you're right, and I do have that too, but didn't think about that. Amy, you haven't either. Oh my goodness, we need to start our own club, like the No Star Wars watching club. There's something else that I haven't. Well, I've never watched a scary movie because, well, I'm kind of a scaredy cat. But I love real life, like Dateline. That's my jam. I love Dateline, but I've never watched a scary movie. I only watched Harry Potter like recently, like within the last couple months. And what's something else that everybody loves that I've never seen? Star Wars, Harry Potter. I don't know. There's something else I think that, and I love movies, but that is awesome. Oh my gosh, Real Housewives of Craft Groups. Yes, I love that. I'm all for it. I'll be. Sign me up. Sign me up for sure. And our husbands probably need a support group too for craft financing, right? Okay, let's see where we're at. Down here. I don't know if I made it to the end. Let's go to the very end a little bit. So you can tell that this type of, I'm trying to laugh at Brandy, but I can't figure it out. Okay, well, Brandy, just know that Amy's laughing at your comment, which means she's probably in agreement with it too. All right, let's see if we've kind of hit. Oh, nope, I got one whole section here and I didn't even get it. So close, guys, so close. So close. Well, I say that, and it may take a couple more passes, but it's pretty dang close. We're getting closer. So thanks for sticking with me because, you know, it's 8:39 and probably, I almost said let's have a pajama party and do it in pajamas, but then I just kept on working. All right. So, okay, gotta have more heat, girls. Gotta have more heat. So it's working, it's just not quite done yet. I think I actually might have done it too, just once it got going. I think I might have done it just on the paper. But you can definitely tell how the paper kind of gets, it's definitely different. Like you can definitely tell specifically for this purpose. I'm just kind of hesitant to smash that on there. Okay, because I'm pajamas the minute I get home. Oh, for sure. Yes. And you know what's really funny about that? 9:38 here in Virginia. I don't stay up past. Oh, well, thank you, girl. I totally understand. I always forget that you're ahead of me too when we're talking or something, but yes, I get it. But when I was working, I would come in and instantaneously put on my pajamas. And my husband was like, wow, pajamas already? And do you know that, okay, I'm going for it. Do you know that he started doing that now? And like you made fun of me for that. Okay, so my very first reaction is the not flat surface of the pillow isn't ideal, but you know what? It's gonna be okay. Now, I'll have you know that I did make my son a sweatshirt last year, and teenagers wash their clothes like about, 5 times more than anybody else, and he's washed the heck out of that thing, and it hasn't even remotely kind of came apart. So, woohoo, that's actually, there we go, girls. There we go, girls. What do you think of my football throw pillow? Check it out. Did it have a zipper? Could put a piece of cardboard? No, it didn't. And honestly, if you used like what I was looking for was like a pillow cover that was just blank, so that I could just put over like another old pillow or something. So that's a good idea, though. You're right. That would have been good. But hey, look at that. Super cute. It looks good. Yeah, I think it looks really good. So, but see, you can't, and I don't know, you probably can't tell. There's like right here, it's kind of wrinkly a little bit. Oh, you can kind of see it there. So that's the only, but like I said, it's going on my porch, so I don't care too much, but otherwise, yeah, look at that. So I might go back and hit it a little bit again, but I won't keep you waiting on that anymore. So, okay, let's check our first one that we started with and see if it's dry, and then let me get this out of the way. And then we'll be done. Done. Okay, so here's our little stencil one. So now it's all nice and dry and it's all painted. So I'm just gonna pull this stencil off. Now you're gonna have the same thing happen here where the insides, like the insides of the L and like the Y's are gonna be stuck in there, which is fine, just leave it. We'll come back with this our little tool and get all of those out. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. See, like the inside of the F and all of that, you just have to go back with your little, that's why this has got that little pick at the end, and you just go back and get those. Get those out. This is 3 cute little projects in, well, just about an hour, huh? I don't know how long we've been going, but this is the part that takes the longest, like trying to get all these little guys. Almost done. Almost. Only a couple more. I'll show it to you. All done. Actually, I guess I need to get all 3 of them out here, huh? Okay, so there's that. So there's that cute little sign. So let me get all this off my fingers. And then we'll recap everything. Okay, so here's the one we did with the blue stencil vinyl. So this was, in case you missed it, so stencil vinyl where you're going to paint over it was 813. Okay, that's the number for that one. So you apply that on there. Now, then this one we did with permanent vinyl. And I don't know, what did I tell you? Did it have a number? Did it have a number? I think it was 613, wasn't it? 631. 651 is that one. So that was with permanent vinyl. And then the last one we did was the football pillow with the heat transfer vinyl. So 3 different types of vinyl that we used right there for these cute little projects. So yeah, that was super fun. And in an hour's time, I mean, I had to paint it, I had them painted before time, but pretty quick there. So, all right, guys. Well, that wraps that up. So, anyway, thanks for hanging with me. Now you go put your jammies on and get a glass of wine and call it a night, right? So, anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining me. I will see you guys later. So, bye.